honey butter cornmeal cookies made with a special ingredient that is going to take it over the top. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our dry ingredients. We have 180 grams of flour. We have 72 grams of cornmeal, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and a half a teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to whisk this together, and we're going to set this aside for a moment, and we're going to go to our wet ingredients. We're going to put all of those into the mixer. 10 tablespoons or 142 grams of butter, 127 grams of sugar, 48 grams of light brown sugar. And then we're going to beat that on a medium-high and cream all of that together. We're going to let that go for about 2 minutes. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes. We're going to turn this off for a minute. And we've got that creamed nicely in there. So we will scrape down that bowl first and foremost, get everything back on solid ground here. And then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of honey. I'm going to beat that for another 30-40 seconds to get that incorporated. All right, that looks good. Now we're going to add the yolk of 1 egg. You just want the yolk for the egg. We'll mix that up again. Okay, that looks great. Okay, the next ingredient we're going to add, it's called butter extract. And this is our secret ingredient. This is something that I made, and I have a video out for how to make this. I'm very excited. This is the easiest thing to make. This enhances the taste of the butter in these cookies. I am anxious to see what they taste like. So we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon here. We'll mix this up. I'm adding the dry ingredients that we had previously mixed together. You're going to mix this at low speed until our dough forms, and it's starting to form now. And I think that's good. This is a small batch. You can make a larger batch if you want. Probably next time I will double this. That dough feels lovely. It's nice and wet. I can feel the cornmeal in there. Great recipe. A shout out to Sean today, who is one of our viewers and a friend, who told me that he had tried a cookie in the last week or so, and it was called honey butter cornmeal cookie, and I had never heard of that cookie before. And I went through some recipes and kind of found a recipe and combined it with some of the other stuff I'd seen, and this is what we have. So this is a test batch today. So this recipe is supposed to make 13 cookies, so I'm using a smaller ice cream scoop, but leaving it a little fuller than I normally would. So there's my 13, so I've got a couple, 3 more maybe. But the next step in all of this is to take these cookies off of this cookie sheet. We're going to roll them in a combination of sugar and cornmeal. And it's 2 to 1, 2 sugars to 1 cornmeal. And I think I tripled that because I'm not going to just roll them. I'm going to actually toss them. So this is how I get my sugar on mine cookies. And that cookie with the cornmeal in it, I suspect that it's going to add to the crunch of that cookie. I think these are going to come out a little bit like snickerdoodles when they're done cooking. So here's our first batch, and I don't know how much these are going to spread, so I like leaving them so that they don't run into each other. Whoops, get a little tear there. I do like to push these down just a tad because these are the types of cookies that I think can use a little help getting down there, and I like them a little flatter than puffy. And these go in a 350 oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm gonna start at around 8 and take a look at them, and we'll be back. Okay, let's see how these are doing. These look amazing. These look absolutely amazing. They're perfect color, and they have an, I can tell they're gonna have a crunchy edge on this in the middle. Oh, I can't wait to taste one. I've never had these. Oh my goodness. These look delicious. They're still a little warm. Oh, look at those. And see, oh, let's see. My gosh. These are so good. They are so, it almost tastes like, it's just buttery. Oh, and the cornmeal on the outside is amazing. Butter, cornmeal, honey cookies. Yum. They're delicious.